Good afternoon, friends. I am out in the garden in the tomato patch. And it is that time of year where we find tomato hornworms. Now, you can see my tomatoes here. They look beautiful. They're doing great. They're super healthy. In fact, you're seeing a wasp fly by right now. But they're doing really, really well. But you can also see that I'm companion planted here with borage, marigolds. Let's see. I'll keep going down. There's a bee. And these tomatoes are looking real good. But where is it? Okay, yep, we got some more. Here we got Junebug. We got some zinnias. This is one zinnia plant. Another giant marigold. Some more borage. And then I'm going to take you over here. We got 3 types of marigolds. Diversity is key. Remember me saying this because I'm about to show you something incredibly interesting. But here also, let me just show you some more things I have. I got some Tulsi basil, some more borage, some different marigolds. I got milkweed, carrots, squash, beans, all the things coming in. Do you see it? Well, last night I came out here to get some tomatoes for dinner, and I was like looking at my plants, checking them out, and what did I find? I found the sure signs of tomato hornworms, which is, I'm going to show you. If you don't know, this is the sign. Let me find it in the camera. See how all the leaves are really eaten off? This is a true sign. The other sign is the poop, and the poop is so large, many times you can see it. I wasn't seeing the poop because it can be hard to identify down on the ground because it's like the color of soil. So unless you're seeing it on the plant, which does happen sometimes, that's what you want. So I'm like scouring this plant for tomatoes, hornworms. I'm like looking all over. I'm moving the plants. I'm trimming things back. I'm trying to find this worm. I'm not finding it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I've never had this happen. We always get a few every year, and then I pick them off and I feed them to the chickens. But we don't get very many, maybe 3. And for 40 plants that we grow, I don't have that many this year. But to even get 1 or 2 is just insane. Because if you grow in tomatoes, you know that they come in really hot and heavy, especially in August. So I didn't find one on that plant. But then I walked down here, and I saw on this plant that was it's not doing so great, but I didn't plant this one. This one just kind of popped up on its own, so I'm not feeling too bad about it. But this one also has the sure signs of it, and I was like, oh my gosh, we got another one. Where is this guy? And I kept looking. We got some more signs of more. We got some on this plant back here. I mean, truly, I spent an hour out here. Then I was like, okay, I'm not finding it. That's cool. Whatever. So then I was like, I'll come back in the morning. Maybe they'll be a little more evident. Came back, still no signs, no more growth. But what I did notice was that there were new leaves growing. So what I think has happened is biodiversity is 1. Because there are so many types of bees, birds, parasitic things in here. Number 1. Number 2, there are so many birds coming here. I have so many flowers, so many different things that need pollinated, so many things that have seeds. I'm growing amaranth wildly. I'm growing buckwheat. I'm growing all these things, and I see the birds up on this trellis all the time. They're sitting up here constantly or on the edge of the fence. And what is right here? The tomato plants. I think the birds found them, and I think the birds have eaten them. I don't think they're here. And that, my friends, is why I tell you to grow as many things as you possibly can in your garden. You want to bring in so many flowers, even if it's not in your garden beds. You want these things supporting your vegetable and herb garden. You want them here because what they do is they bring in wildlife that creates the ecosystem that keeps everything in balance. So you're not needing things. So you can come out here and see that and then think, oh, There's no new growth. Everything looks good. They're gone. Nature worked itself out. That's the goal. Okay, so that's my lesson today. If you are having these issues, if you're maybe finding tomato hornworms, don't feel discouragement, just pick them off. But if you're finding a lot, then we really need to be focusing on increasing your biodiversity. And I am happy to talk about that more in the comments. If you're like, what are some of the things, Megan? We can talk about that. Just ask away. I'm happy to tell you more. But literally, there are three types of marigolds. There are 20 types of zinnias. There are, it's not just I'm growing squash, but how many types of squash are you growing? How many types of basil are you growing? And then what kind of perennial plants that are native are supporting your garden outside of your garden beds? So like I have this whole field right here of just cosmos. I'm not harvesting all those. I'm not, now obviously there's some loss in that. Like you can have issues with, birds eating things, stuff like that. That's going to happen and that's okay. But it's about finding this balance of, oh, wow, I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to fix anything. I didn't have to it just fixed itself. Oh, that's great. So I just want to come here today and say, yes, I get tomato hornworms. 1, 2, yes, it does happen still with companion planting. And 3, biodiversity wins. Okay? So I hope that's helpful today. If you have questions about how to add more biodiversity into your garden, maybe some things that you aren't growing that maybe I have, any of that, I'm happy to answer. So anyways, I'll see you guys later.